All right, good evening, everyone. We'll start with a motion to approve the agenda.
Moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Next, I need a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes for the February 6, 2020 board meeting.
We'll move. Okay.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. We do not have any patron comments, so next up are superintendent board comments, and we're going to start with our superintendent, Dr. Mark Miles.
Thank you, Mrs. Mondal. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. A few announcements. Schools all over the Rockwood School District have been commemorating Black History Month with special events, speakers, and initiatives. At Rockwood South Middle School, the school's social justice group took part in the National African American Read-In. Students researched notable African American historical figures and facilitated presentations in their language arts classes. Students were able to launch discussions about pivotal figures such as Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and Shirley Chisholm. On February 14th, the students also welcomed a speaker from the Missouri History Museum who acted out the part of famed St. Louis abolitionist and freedom fighter Mary Meacham. So lots of learning going on within those activities. Next, a total of 46 Rockwood students representing all four of our high schools have been named finalists for the 2020 round of National Merit Scholarships. Each spring, the National Merit Scholarship Corporation offers more than $31 million in scholarship assistance to 7,600 high school seniors around the nation who exhibit outstanding academic, testing, and extracurricular credentials. Of the more than 1.5 million juniors who took the preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship qualifying test last fall, about 15,000 are chosen as National Merit Scholarship finalists. So we have 46 of those 15,000. Merit Scholar designees are selected on the basis of their skills, accomplishments, and potential for success in rigorous college studies. We want to say congratulations to these students, and we wish them continued success in their academic endeavors. Rockwood is hosting a diversity job fair on Wednesday, February 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Rockwood South Middle School. We're considering candidates for all positions and have openings for administrators, before and after school care, bus drivers and monitors, child nutrition workers, custodians, grounds and maintenance workers, instructional support, and teachers. Thank you, Dr. Rebele, for your leadership of that diversity job fair. Diversity is certainly a priority in the Rockwood School District, and we are committed to hiring diverse staff members that reflect our student population and help our children thrive. And the Rose Award honors the best of the Rockwood School District. Nearly 210 nominations were submitted with stories highlighting excellence of character, leadership, performance, and extraordinary service. Teachers, nurses, secretaries, custodians, parents, and community members cover just some of the people who are nominated. The Rose Selection Committee is now in the process of selecting 15 Rose recipients. In early March, Rose Committee chairs will visit Rose Award recipients to surprise the nominees with one of the district's greatest recognitions. The Rose Award recipients will be honored on Sunday, May 3rd, along with Cornerstone, Teacher of the Year, retirees, and Service Award honorees. Congratulations to all of our 210 nominees. And finally tonight, more than 120 Rockwood High School students recently gathered for Project Interface orientation at the Administrative Annex. Project Interface, run by Rockwood Partners in Education, provides students the opportunity to intern with area businesses and explore careers in which they are interested. At 124 students, this is the largest group we've ever welcomed into Project Interface, and they're pursuing the largest array of professions that we have seen in the history of the program as well. Here's some more information about that program.
So today, this is like the orientation / meeting for Project Interface, and for me, it's kind of a lot, because I didn't expect there was going to be so many kids like so many just kids here. I didn't know that many people signed up. But honestly, I think it's just a great experience because like I'm making new friends at my table that I'm sitting at.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Do it again. Good morning. Good morning.
Experiential learning is really something that students may or may not have learned in the classroom. So this is their first glimpse of what truly self-directed learning is. They're really going to be given the opportunity to set their own pace and challenge themselves with the amount of tasks and required elements in this program, and to really reflect on how they're doing as an individual as they head on into college and beyond. And guess what you all are in this room today? You're talent. And you're the talent that employers like Mrs. Valentine will be seeking in the not-so-distant future. Isn't that awesome?
I think it's important to have this stuff in high school just because it gives the kids a leg up in a professional world where we're competing with adults who have had like years and decades of experience compared to us where we're like right out the gate. For my internship, I'm really hoping to go into marine biology, so I'm hoping I can work with the St. Louis Aquarium that just opened. But if not, I am open to any like field biology, anything where I can get more experience with the field, figuring out like the nuances, what all I can do with that, how people got to their careers, and all that kind of good stuff.
So in closing, as you can see, opportunity awaits for our students and staff in the Rockwood School District. That is all I have this evening.
Very good. Any board comments?
Just wanted to comment, I had the opportunity to attend the Fenton Chamber of Commerce and the PTO President's Forum in the last couple weeks, and we're very fortunate to have such community support for our district, and I just want to get a shout out to all those wonderful community members out there.
Yep, very good. Any other comments? Well, we're going to announce that last board meeting, our board voted to extend Dr. Mark Miles' contract. It was a 7-0 vote. We feel like he's done a fantastic job so far. Our board is committed to, we have a great evaluation system in place, run primarily by Lynn Midget, our vice president, and so we've worked very closely with him since he started, working with his goals, evaluating his goals, so it's been a very collaborative process, but we appreciate everything he's done for our kids so far, so we just wanted to announce that we're going to have him around for a little bit longer. Thanks. Any other comments? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Miles.
Thank you.
Next, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So move.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
We do have two great donations tonight. They're up on the screen, but I'll read them. The Steinberg Group, other non-monetary cost would estimate about $10,000. Educational support for the photography program, I'm assuming at the 4 high schools. And there's a long list of things they're providing, which is excellent. We do appreciate that. Second one is the Falcons football boosters. Again, they continue to support their program with money, $1,467.12 for miscellaneous. This would be miscellaneous purchases in support of the football program and football purchases. It could be anything in the football program. Two excellent donations again tonight.
Very good. Anything else in consent? All right, so the motion is to approve those consent agenda items. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstention?
Randy.
I need to abstain.
Okay, we have one abstention. All right, moving on to agenda items. The COPE presentation was going to be postponed until March 5th due to some illness amongst the presenters. So we're moving on to 8.02, the Proclamation Social Work Month. So I need a motion to approve that the Board of Education proclaim the month of March, and specifically the week of March 2nd through the 6th, 2020, as Social Work Week in the Rockwood School District. Motion is second. Dr. Kinder is going to go ahead and read that proclamation for us, please.
Social workers, generations strong. Whereas, social workers in the Rockwood School District and districts across the nation serve as vital members of the educational team, playing a central role in creating a positive school climate and vital partnerships between the home, school, and community to ensure student academic success. And whereas all children have the right to safe environments and quality education, and whereas dignity and compassion for all students help define a school's character, and whereas the primary mission of the school social work profession is to enhance well-being and help meet the basic needs of all students, especially the most vulnerable in our schools, and whereas school social workers help students at every grade level function better in their classroom, home, and school environments, improve their relationships with others, and solve personal and school problems, and whereas there is a growing need for school districts to address services offered by school social workers for students' emotional, physical, and environmental needs so that students may achieve academic success, and whereas school social workers are especially skilled in providing support and services to students who face challenges including poverty, disabilities, loss of loved ones, identity, relationships, school transitioning, and other barriers to learning, and whereas school social workers celebrate the courage, hope, and strength of all students. Whereas Rockwood School District is proud to recognize the importance of social work in our schools and the critical role that school social workers play in helping mold and educate all students. Now, therefore, in recognition of the school social workers in the Rockwood School District, we, the Rockwood Board of Education, proclaim the month of March 2020 as National Social Work Month, and specifically the week of March 2nd through 6th, 2020, School Social Work Week, and call upon all citizens to join with the National Association of Social Workers and Rockwood School District in celebration and support of the social work profession. Signed this 20th day of February 2020, Laura Lee Mondel, President, Rockwood Board of Education.
Mr. Kinder? Dr. Harris?
All right, so I would like to first say, obviously, I'm not Brittany Hogan. She was here earlier today and left because she wasn't feeling well, so we hope that she's okay. There is a quote that I often like to use whenever I'm doing presentations at the beginning, and it says, if the only prayer that you pray is thank you, then that shall suffice, right? It's a way to thank people. And I want to start with that as we celebrate Social Worker Week. So thank you to the Board of Education, thank you to Dr. Miles, thank you to Dr. Counts, and Katie, Dr. Weberle for supporting school social workers and hiring school social workers. And so you guys probably know, because I've said this before, that a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we had 6 social workers. And today I'm proud to announce that we have 17.5 social workers. And so I think sometimes in the Rockwood School District, or maybe other districts, I don't know, but just specifically speaking of Rockwood, we take things for granted. The reality is there are a lot of school districts without social workers. There's a lot of recommendations to have social workers. But to have social workers, you have to put money to social workers, which means you're probably taking money from somewhere else. We know the budget game. And so for the district to increase the social workers to the extent that we have to 17.5 means that we really care about the social and emotional needs of our students, and we're willing to do what we need to do to bridge that home life with the school life. And I would say that all 17.5 of those social workers will say thank you for your support. And we really want to acknowledge that. Our social workers work really hard to ensure that they're meeting the needs of our students, to make sure that the home connection is there, to make sure that students have what they need. You can ask anyone that works with Rockwood Gives Back or the Giving Place. They're always emailing and trying to figure out ways that they can support students, be it take students to receive eyeglasses, dental work, clothing, any other appointments that you can think about, helping kids apply for ACT, going on home visits or school visits. They're always there. And I would be remiss if I didn't say loudly and for the record that we really appreciate all 17.5 of these absolutely amazing women. I just want to read something really quick that a second grader wrote, because we all know that the smartest people in the entire school systems anywhere are second graders. I don't know if you remember the story. Someone wrote this because obviously she didn't email me, but I don't know if you remember the story that I had shared with you a few years ago about the second grader who painted a picture of her family dancing in the rain and had specifically included the sun in the picture. When I asked her about her son, she had to say, well, most people forget that the sun is still shining even when it's raining. And I think that's what our social workers remind our students of every day. Even when it's raining, we have the obligation to look for the sun. So thank you for supporting social workers. They really appreciate your support, and I appreciate your support as well.
Board comments or questions? Okay. All right, so the motion is to approve that the Board of Education proclaim the month of March and that week, March 2nd through 6th, as Social Work Week in Rockwood. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. All right, next we're going to have Chris Friend come up. And the first one we need is a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts, $7,500 to $150,000 as submitted.
Moved.
We have a motion and a second. Hello, Chris.
Oh, how are we doing this evening?
Good, how are you?
All right. Couple items for Honer and Associates. They are one of the two architects that we're currently working with on district projects, basically brick and mortar, special project type items. We have a couple projects coming up at Rockwood Valley, and this one is Rockwood Valley and then Rockwood Summit as well, where we're doing some upgrades and actually additions of ADA compliant restrooms in their nurses' suites. So the first one up for approval is at Rockwood Valley. These are the design fees for that project, and we are hoping to get it out on the street and bid, so we have an opportunity to get this completed this summer.
Is this something new? We didn't have disability access in either one of these nurses' offices?
So, well, the current restroom at Rockwood Valley is ADA accessible. However, we're having an issue when there's just one restroom in these facilities, and they have a child that has, more severe needs. They have trouble finding a location to service that student and at the same time have facilities available for other students that may be in that facility.
Is that going to incapacitate part of the nurse's office while these changes are made?
No, it does not. It actually, we're placing this restroom adjacent to the existing restroom. There's a small waiting area that's currently there. We're basically going to infill that space. So there's not a large impact to the actual
nurse will be open and for business and everything, right?
This will happen during the summer months, so there will be no impact.
Good, thanks.
Then the second item is for Honer Associates as well. As I mentioned, it's a very similar project to Rockwood Valley at Rockwood Summit. This is providing it's a little higher level of renovation, but basically the goal is the same. We are going to provide a larger space for ADA accessibility, and then make this space overall a little more efficient as part of that project. All right, then the next one is for J&J Fence Incorporated. This is basically an athletic field fencing project that will encompass the athletic fields at Kellison Elementary and Rockwood South. As you know, those two campuses are combined. They basically share the same campus. This is the perimeter fencing that's in need of replacement around those athletic fields.
You happen to have the dimensions for that field? Do you think you could send those to me? Because this is a math problem I want to give my students.
Okay, so specifically the field at Rockwood South, or just
whichever one, just one of them, just whenever you have time. It's like no rush.
Okay.
But I'd be curious to see what, like price out what it is per foot or whatever.
Okay.
Or yards, okay?
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
Is this the fence that runs south to north between the two properties?
No, so this is actually the fence that comes along the front, the east side of Kellison, and then goes up the drive up to Rockwood South, and it's in pretty bad shape. It's in need of repair, and then this will wrap around back to the bleacher system at Rockwood South.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions about those?
Summer work is
No, this is actually something that we've coordinated with Kellison and Rockwood South that we're actually ready to go. So as soon as we get approval, you'll see some activity.
It'll be minimal disruption though, isn't it? Because it's outside and it's right at the edge of the campus.
That's correct. And one of the things we had to work through with this was obviously we don't want to leave the campus at Kellison wide open during recess. So we've got a collaboration in place where, you know, our staff will be demoing the fence. We actually are going to self-perform that activity to help save some money on this. And we'll be working in tandem with the contractor so there's not long gaps of the facility being open. And then we also are going to be putting up some temporary fence as well if need be.
Questions? Else? All right, so that motion is to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts $7,500 to $150,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone, everybody good? All right, that motion passes. I lost my train of thought. Opposed? All right. Okay, next. First one, motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from Byrne & Jones Construction for renovation of Rockwood Summit High School tennis court facility.
We'll move.
Motion and a second. It's all yours.
So the next two are pretty exciting projects, not that bathroom renovations aren't, but these are two items that we've really been looking for funding to address these issues. And the first one is the tennis court facility at Rockwood Summit. This is a complete renovation of their existing system. That is the original court system that was installed when the school was built. And I think we've talked a little bit before that, you know, our current tennis court systems in the district really aren't specific tennis court facilities. They were basically, you know, paving projects that, you know, whoever the paving contractor was that did the parking lot basically jumped over, paved an area, put fence around it, put nets up, and that's what we had. That worked for a while, but now we're really, especially at Summit, starting to see the deterioration of that facility. So this is a much needed project. I have to say that one of the big concerns about this project was the timeline. Making sure that we were ready to go in the fall because they've already been displaced and not able to use their facility, so we wanted to minimize that impact as much as we could. And Mitch and his staff have been remarkable in allowing us to get to the facility before the summer months. We've actually worked out a schedule where the first day of spring break is when we will mobilize for this project. So they've done an outstanding job of prioritizing their needs and knowing that, you know, the main goal is to be in it next fall. So they're making a sacrifice on the front end, and we really appreciate that.
Will we eventually have to do this all for the high schools?
Yes, so that is our goal. That's the direction we're heading. The next facility that would most likely be in need if we prioritize them through would be Eureka High School. But our intent is to touch all four facilities.
Does this fit in the existing, to get regulation in tennis courts, does it fit in the existing space?
Yes, it will. There'll be a slight expansion to the west. One of the reasons, and I know that number's a little shocking to some people, but one of the things that's different about this court system than the others, there's a fair amount of site work that has to be done just because of the elevations of that campus. So there's a large structural wall that has to be constructed to the west end, which at the other facilities we won't have that issue.
Now there's a new housing project going up just behind that. We're not going to interfere with any of that.
No, not at all.
An estimate of what the tear-out cost will be to get ready for this?
Once we get, we're in the process, we've interviewed the contractor, they've submitted a schedule, they will submit a schedule of values, which will have that estimate in there on what the schedule of value is for the actual demo of the courts. The big thing the reason we wanted to get started so early is the time-consuming part of that whole project is constructing the new wall, the new structural wall to the west. So really, I mean, when you're talking about a court system like this, the demo is pretty minimal compared to the construction of a structural wall and the actual court system.
What are they going to do about spring tennis?
So spring tennis, Mitch has been working with his coach. They had requested that they have the first 2 weeks of the season. So basically they start March 2nd and they asked for the first 2 weeks before spring break. I don't know the particulars on what they have planned, but I've been informed that they have arrangements in place.
Okay. Thanks. You guys know?
They practice at sunset, which is
Yes.
indoors, if it was bad weather, so maybe that's where they're going. I bet you'll find tons of tennis balls in that woods back there.
We'll find all kinds of stuff.
All right, any other questions or comments about that one? All right, so the motion is to approve the bond issue purchases for, I know, but these are two separate motions. So,
Really?
let me try that again. So the motion is to approve the bond issue purchases for Byrne and Jones Construction for renovation of the Rockwood Summit High School tennis court facility. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. The next one is motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from Heartland Seating, Inc. for replacement of Lafayette High School main gym bleacher system.
So move.
Motion is second. Discussion on this one.
You say it's I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You say it's 3 sections, but there's 2 on each side, aren't there?
Well, there's one large section on each side that are connected. I mean, they're independent systems, but they are connected. And then there's a third system that's on the shelf.
Oh, the shelf is, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Why are you replacing those?
So these are the original bleacher systems to that school.
Yeah.
We've had some maintenance issues with them, and quite honestly, they've run their life cycle. Right now, it's prohibitive to keep putting money into them. We're having trouble finding some motors for those systems. They've aged, and it's time to put some new technology in there.
You're going with the plastic polymer?
That is correct. The polymer seating will replace the wood. Yep.
Are you going to recycle all that wood?
No, that is part of the demolition cost for the project, so they'll be responsible for disposing of the wood. Now, I'm sure there will be some recycling done within that,
Hope they do, okay.
that number. Yes.
So how old are those bleachers?
So
92?
91,
92, 93?
90.
Oh, 89, yeah, Katie would know.
Yep. Yes.
Go to
So,
Lafayette, Katie? Oh, okay, never mind.
so yes. So it's a fairly old system.
Pretty old, yeah.
Yes.
You were the last group, right, Katie? Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got our money's worth out of these systems. And much like the tennis courts, we know there's needs at the other locations, the other high school locations. So, we have a bleacher system in our B gyms and our A gyms. So Eureka High School's main gym, that's the newest system that we have. It is a polymer system. So basically, we're looking at, touching 7 of the 8 locations, as far as A gym, B gym in the next couple years. So this is the first system we're going to address because it's in the most need.
Get down to the middle schools like Crestview?
I wish it was that easy.
No, I mean, are you going to renovate those?
Oh, not at this time. There's not plans or funding in place to do that. We're going to address the high schools first, and then we'll start assessing the other locations.
Anything else?
So this will be this summer as well, yes.
All right, so that motion is to approve the bond issue purchases for Heartland Seating, Inc. for replacement of Lafayette High School main gym bleacher system. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Chris?
Good to see you. All right, proposed agenda for the March 5th, 2020 Board of Education meeting.
We're moving
I have one item to add to it.
Okay, just wait. Yeah.
are we moving the presentation tonight to that next meeting?
Is that what we're doing? For sure?
We're going to probably move it to another different meeting because
Okay.
that meeting's so heavy, so.
Okay. Tammy?
I do have an item to add to the agenda, and that'll be our proposal for the MSBA conference.
Okay. All right. Else? It's a curriculum. Or, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, future agenda presentation and events to attend. So just a reminder, Wednesday, March 4th, we have our Board of Education work session from 8 to noon in the Administrative Annex Room A204. And Thursday, March 5th, Religious Leaders Breakfast in the Administrative Annex Room A100. Anything else besides checking your Google Calendar?
Something on the 27th?
February?
Is that 1 hour?
Do we have something on February 27th?
26th or 27th? 9 to 10 on the 26th, the comparison of districts.
25th.
Okay, well, I had it both days. So it's not the 26th.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, the 25th.
That's
You're-
next week, isn't it?
That's this next week coming up. That's the
Central office.
central office. That's our regular admin leadership team meeting.
Go to lunch on the 20th. Anything else? All right, adjourn the meeting.